Hello friends, welcome to AQYS YouTube channel. This session is a part of our quick revision series Prelims Atulya. In today's session we'll discuss about judiciary. So in our last session we discussed about legislature, before that we discussed about executive, and in today's session we'll focus on judiciary. Friends, from 1950 till now, judiciary has played a massive role in protecting our constitution, in safeguarding our rights, in establishing the rule of law. So, rule of law is important for the equality in the society, and the judiciary has been successful in establishing, in protecting the rule of law in our country. So, we must have the independent judicial system, because if there is an independent judicial system, then establishing the rule of law becomes easy, and fortunately the Constitution of India provides for an independent body, an independent judicial system. Our faith in the judiciary, it has been immense. Okay, so the faith that we have in our judicial system, it is enormous. In fact, when there is any dispute or when there is any altercation, you might have heard people say that I'll see you in the court, I'll drag you to the court. Okay, so this much faith we have in the judiciary. Okay, so when we live in a society, disputes are bound to arise, because we are living collectively, we are surrounded by people, so disputes will arise. Okay, you might not have seen any family wherein disputes are not there. Disputes are everywhere. So in order to settle all these disputes, you need an independent body, and in our country we have this independent judicial system. So it settles the disputes, it resolves the disputes in our country. So why do we need an independent body? So that the rule of law, establishing the rule of law, becomes easy when there is not any interference. Okay, now what is this rule of law? See, rule of law implies that every person in this country, every citizen in this country should be subjected to same law. So there must be same law for everybody. Okay, so be it poor or rich, everybody will be subjected to same law, men or women, poor or rich. Okay, so this judiciary has to establish the rule of law in our society, and it must act in accordance with rule of law. Okay, now the Constitution has ensured the independence of judiciary. Okay, so there are some provisions, there are some measures. First, the security of tenure. So judges that we have, these judges have security of tenure, they have fixed tenure, and removal of judges, it is not easy. It is a very intricate, very complex procedure in our country. So that is a rigid provision. So judges cannot be removed easily. So because of that, these judges can work without any favor, without any fear. Second, legislature in our country does not play any role in the appointment of judges. They do not have any say. Third, the judiciary is not financially dependent upon legislature. So legislature does not approve anything related to salary or allowances. Okay, so these three measures have ensured the independence of judiciary in our country. Okay, so remember these provisions. First, fixed tenure. Second, appointment of judges, legislature does not have any say. And third, approval of legislature is not required in the financial matters. So all these three points are very important and you must know. Now let's talk about the Supreme Court, the most powerful court in our country and one of the powerful courts in the world. So Supreme Court, it works in accordance with Constitution. Okay, so functions and responsibilities of the Supreme Court, these are defined by the Constitution of India. Now, the Supreme Court, it has some specific jurisdiction, and these jurisdictions are very, very important for your prelims. First jurisdiction is original jurisdiction. So what do we mean by the original jurisdiction? Original jurisdiction means that for some cases you can directly approach the Supreme Court. Okay, so all these cases can be dealt by only Supreme Court. No other court in our country can deal with these cases. So for such cases, for cases like dispute between the state and the center, you can directly approach the Supreme Court. So that is known as original jurisdiction. Only Supreme Court can deal with some specific cases. Okay, so cases related to federal matters generally fall under this category. Second, writ jurisdiction. See, in the case of the violation of your fundamental rights, you can simply knock the door of either High Courts or Supreme Court. You have that option. So in the case of violation of your fundamental rights, if your fundamental rights get violated, in that case High Court or Supreme Court, they can issue some special directives. Okay, those directives will enforce the fundamental right, and these special directives, these special orders are known as writs. Okay, so Supreme Court has the writ jurisdiction. Third, appellate jurisdiction. What do we mean by the appellate jurisdiction? See, the Supreme Court is the highest court of appeal. So if you are not satisfied with the decision of the High Court, in that case you can approach the Supreme Court. Okay, you can go against the order of the High Court. Okay, and Supreme Court has the power to change the ruling of the High Court. Okay, so that is known as appellate jurisdiction. Fourth, advisory jurisdiction. See, if there is a case, okay, and Supreme Court, suppose there is a case, okay, and President wants the advice of the Supreme Court regarding this case. Okay, maybe this case is of public importance, or maybe the President wants to know the constitutionality of this case. Okay, or maybe this case requires the interpretation of the Constitution. So in that case, President can refer this case to Supreme Court. Okay, so if there is any case, let me repeat one more time for your understanding. If there is any case which requires the interpretation of the Constitution, or maybe this case is of public importance, in that case President can refer this case to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court is not bound to give the advice. Remember this thing. And President also is not bound to accept the advice. Okay, so these two facts are very important, and this is a very, very important point. That's why I'm going to repeat it one more time. If there is any case which is of public importance, or any case which requires the interpretation of the Constitution, President can seek the advice of the Supreme Court, and President is not bound by the advice of the Supreme Court. It is entirely up to President whether he wants to accept or reject. Okay, so all these facts are important for your prelims. Okay, let me just summarize this lecture one more time. that we have an independent judicial system. Okay, so constitution has some measures which have ensured the independence of judiciary. And what are those provisions? We discussed that security of tenure, legislature does not have any role in the appointment of judges. Third, we discussed that judiciary is not financially dependent upon legislature. Then we discussed about the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has some specific jurisdiction. Okay, original jurisdiction, second writ jurisdiction, then appellate jurisdiction, and advisory jurisdiction. Okay, so all these jurisdictions are very very important, can be asked in prelims. So that's all for today's session. Okay, in the next session we'll discuss rest of the important points regarding judiciary. And if you have liked our initiative, you can subscribe our YouTube channel for more such videos. You can follow our social media platforms for daily current affairs content. And if you have any suggestions, you can mention in the comment section. So that's all for today's session. I'll see you in the next session soon. Bye bye.